Hello everyone, welcome to my chemistry channel BL Das Short and Sweet in Chemistry. I also want to welcome the students of 12th Science, especially the chapter is Organic Chemistry and Alcohol. Now here in this video I want to explain the chemical properties, especially chemical reaction. What are the chemical reaction involved in the chemical properties of alcohol? Now this is part 7 where I will explain chemical properties of alcohol with proper equation. Types of alcohol, you know what are the types of alcohol? Primary alcohol, secondary alcohol and tertiary alcohol. What is the primary alcohol? RCH2OH. RCH2OH. In this carbon, one side alkyl group and there are two hydrogen atoms which are free to the carbon. Now in secondary, there are two alkyl group attached to the carbon and one hydrogen atom which is free. Whereas tertiary, you observe here, three alkyl groups are there attached to carbon, there is no free hydrogen and only one OH group, hydroxyl group is present here. Now then how they are active? In primary alcohol, one alkyl group, what is alkyl group? Alkyl group is electron releasing plus I effect. So here electron released towards this carbon and here two alkyl group are releasing electrons towards that carbon. Here three alkyl groups release electrons towards this carbon. That means here plus I effect is very much compared to secondary than to primary. Now when we see the structure of alcohol except alkyl group, what is remaining? COH. C, that is electropositive, and compared to oxygen, oxygen is more electronegative. That is why it occupies delta negative charge and whereas carbon occupies delta positive charge. Now in this case, how can you say whether primary is very active or secondary or tertiary? Then what is the cause behind it? Tertiary alcohol, the CO bond is very weak. Then how can you know CO bond is very weak? Because here three alkyl groups are attached and they are releasing electron towards this carbon. That means plus I effect is more here. That is why CO bond is very weak. It can easily break. So CO bond is very weak due to plus I effect about the three alkyl groups. Where three alkyl groups, they will release electron towards the carbon. That is why this bond is very weak. Primary alcohol, what happened? Primary alcohol OH bond is very weak. Then how? Because here only responsible this oxygen, this hydrogen. Oxygen is more electronegative. Oxygen is more electronegative. That is why hydrogen tends to separate from this bond, to separate as a proton. That means hydrogen when dispatched, hydrogen will change, separate from this OH group as your proton. So now you can say then who is very active, whether primary or tertiary. Then when condition, when whether primary active or tertiary active. Now see, primary alcohol is active as cleavage of OH bond. I told just now OH bond is weak because oxygen is more electronegative. That is why here primary alcohol is active when the cleavage of OH bond. Tertiary alcohol is active when cleavage of CO bond. CO bond related mean, that means tertiary alcohol is very active. Then what is the conclusion? If OH bond cleavage, if we say OH bond will cleavage, then what happen? Primary is greater active more than secondary, more than tertiary. If CO bond will cleavage, then which one active? Tertiary is more active than secondary than primary. That means if OH that will break, then here the reactions are different because here primary is more active than secondary than tertiary. Similarly, when CO bond will cleavage, tertiary is more active That is why here also the reactions are different. Now we will say reaction due to cleavage of OH group. Just now I told OH group cleavage means primary is more active. Where I told OH is weak due to electronegativity of oxygen. Now, what is the main reaction? First reaction you see, acidity of alcohol. How can you say, yes, here acidity of alcohol proof. That means with metals, alcohol when react with metal, it gives hydrogen. This is the main characteristics of acid. When acid react with metal, it gives hydrogen. Similarly, the alcohol also react with metal, it gives sodium alkoxide. When in ROH, H is replaced by Na, that is called sodium alkoxide and hydrogen. Similarly, we will see other metals how they react with alcohol. Here with metals it proves that hydrogen gas is liberated. Similarly, we will see other metals how they will react with alcohol. I told when metal react with alcohol, it gives metal alkoxide and hydrogen. Here this is the example, methyl alcohol with sodium. It gives sodium methoxide. Why this sodium methoxide? Because it comes from methyl alcohol. Sodium methoxide and hydrogen. Similarly, when aluminium will react, aluminium is trivalent. It will react with tertiary butyl alcohol. It gives tertiary butoxide, aluminium tertiary butoxide and hydrogen. And since aluminium has valency 3, that is why here it is 3 and it is aluminium. What is the formula? This is the tertiary buto and 3 times and here aluminium, because aluminium has valency 3. Now acidity of alcohol. How can you know acid alcohol and what are the tests, and also how can you compare different types of alcohol regarding acidity? Methyl alcohol, where only hydrogen, 3 hydrogen atoms are attached to carbon and there is no alkyl group, you know alkyl group is electron releasing group where plus I effect is more. And primary alcohol only one alkyl group, secondary where 2 alkyl group and tertiary where 3 alkyl groups are there. And now it is 1 alkyl group, so once time 1 alkyl group tendency it release electron towards this carbon, and here 2 alkyl group they will release electron towards this carbon, and here 3 electron releasing alkyl group towards carbon. And plus I effect increases one by one. That means electron density on oxygen increases, and that is why polarity of OH increases. Polarity of OH decreases. If polarity of OH decreases, that means the H. What is acidity? That H will be removed easily and will not combine again to produce that again alcohol. If the hydrogen that has a proton removed easily and that is a stable one, then only you can say that is very good acidic. And so a plus I effect increases electron density. That is why you can say tertiary alcohol is less acidic than secondary, then primary, then methyl alcohol, because in methyl alcohol only hydrogen groups are there. There is no alkyl group. And how can you compare alcohol and proton? Alcohol, that is also proton donor, and water also proton donor. Now this is alkoxide ion where 3 pair oxygen are there with negative sign, and water there are 2 pair of electron. And now this proton donor, which one proton donor? Acid. That means the which one? Water. Water acts as a proton donor, so it is a strong acid. Now when you compare alkoxide ion and water, water is a strong acid. It forms conjugate acid and conjugate base. Conjugate acid and conjugate acid of what? this alkoxide ion, conjugate base of what? This water. Similarly, it acts as a proton acceptor, it acts as a proton donor. Similarly, when you take only base where is a lone pair of electron having negative sign, and this is acid, that one alcohol which acts as a now acid let, then it forms conjugate acid BH and conjugate base, that is OR minus. That means when you compare these two, you can say, you can observe water is a stronger acid than ROH. Water is a stronger acid than ROH. From this reaction, it is clear. Then we will see other chemical reaction of alcohol. In first reaction of alcohols, I told acidity of alcohol, how the alcohols react with metals and forms hydrogen gas, and sodium alkoxide is the main product. Now in second reaction, that is esterification. Esterification means ester will be formed by the combination of alcohol with acid or acid chloride or acid anhydride, with acid chloride or acid anhydride, and now they give the result that is called ester. Ester general formula RCOOR dash. What is the formula of ester? RCOOR dash. What is RCO? This part, this left side part, that is from acid. How can you name it? How can you know which part from acid, which part from alcohol? Because you know ester is formed by the combination of acid part and alcohol part. That means left part is acid part, right part is from alcohol part. But when you name, this part come first. When you name this part, which part? Alcohol part comes first and this part come next. That means suppose I can explain one example. CH3COO-C2H5. It indicates that this is from acid part, this is from alcohol part. This is from acid part mean this is from acetic acid by common name. This is from ethanoic acid by IPAC name. And this part from alcohol, see this part from alcohol, which alcohol? C2H5 mean C2H5OH, ethyl alcohol by common name. What is IPAC name of ethyl alcohol? Ethanol. So how can you name it? I told you name it from the right side. When you write from left side, that is from acid. When you name that is from right side, that is from alcohol part. So first you name, this is called ethyl and this is from acetic acid. So by common name ethyl acetate. Why it is acetate? Because it comes from acetic acid. Or by IPAC name ethanoate. Why ethanoate? Because it comes from ethanoic acid by IPAC name. So what is the name? Ethyl ethanoate. So I hope it is clear. It is now you feel very easy. Generally students feel face difficulty naming the ester, but remember left side that is from acid part, right side that is from alcohol part. When you name that means from right side you will name, you start then giving name, and next is this acid part. So it is ethyl acetate by common name, ethyl ethanoate by IPAC name. Then again come to our reaction of alcohol with acid. This is general formula of acid RCOOH, and this is R-OH, alcohol. This is acid, and what is the result? RCOOR dash. That means RCO acid part, OR dash that is alcohol part. Similarly, RCOCl, that is called acid chloride. RCOCl acid chloride, that means it is a derivative of acid. When you remove OH, here you RCl replaced by Cl, then RCOCl, that is called acid chloride, and this is alcohol. Same, the left part, that is acid part, and right part, that is alcohol part. Next come to example. Let us see, this is acetic acid by common name CS3COOS, that is acetic acid by common name. C2H5O is ethyl alcohol by IUPAC name. So what happened when they combine? Now I have shown here how the water molecule is produced as a byproduct, and what is remaining? CS3COOC2H5, CS3COOC2H5. Only you see and put the same part here, that means ethyl, that is called ethyl ethanoate. And what is the byproduct here? Water. Clear? That means in acid you put alcohol put in this way, so that it is easy to show how water is produced as byproduct. Then what is remaining? CS3COOC2H5. It is very easy now. Next come to ethanoyl chloride. What is meant by ethanoyl chloride? This is a derivative of acid. This is a derivative of acid. How? Because in acetic acid, OH replaced by Cl, so it is called ethanoyl chloride, or it is called acetyl chloride. Why it is acetyl chloride? Because from acetic acid. Why it is ethanoyl chloride? Because as a IUPAC name, that is called ethanoic acid, that is why ethanoyl chloride as IUPAC name, acetyl chloride as common name. When react with alcohol, example ethyl alcohol, then what happen? Again you see this Cl, this H, you write in this way so that you can show what is the byproduct. Sometimes byproduct is very important to remember all the reaction, how it is happening. Now HCl is the byproduct, then what is remaining? You copy and paste it. CS3CO O C2H5, CS3COO C2H5. It is very easy. That means you should know what should be the byproduct here, HCl, and what is remaining here, you copy and paste it here. Automatically the result or product will come 100% correct. Now CS3COO C2H5. This is the ethyl ethanoate. I already told ethyl ethanoate. Now this is called acetic anhydride. This is called acetic anhydride. Why it is called acetic anhydride? Because this is the combination of two molecules of acid and one molecule of water removed, and what is remaining, that is called anhydride of acid. So CS3CO, it indicates that it is from acetic acid. Two molecules of acetic acid, it gives on heating it gives one molecules of water, and what is remaining, that is called acetic anhydride. Now in this acetic anhydride, it is easy to mention in this way because CS3CO, that is two molecules of acetic acid, and here one water molecule removed, so it is combined with one oxygen bond here, and now this is called acetic anhydride by common name. Then what is IUPAC name? In IUPAC name, acetic acid is called ethanoic acid. So it is ethanoic anhydride. You can write, you can remember as IUPAC name, that is ethanoic anhydride. In all other that is carrying in presence of acid. So CS3, see here, CS3CO, or you take CS3CO. What is the next part? This is OC2H5. So CS3COO C2H5. What is remaining? CS3COOH. CS3COH. That means here one side acid, acetic acid, other side ethyl ethanoate. Again you see CS3COO C2H5, or you can say CS3COO C2H5, CS3COOH. It is very easy. Only remember how it form ester and how it will form acid. Or in general you can say this is the RCO whole 2. See here 2 times. So RCO whole 2O. This is the general formula for acid and hydride, and you combine with alcohol, then you produce one side ester, another side acid. Here first I put one example, after that I put here general formula. In general formula you can see RCOR dash ester and RCOOH acid. I hope esterification process is clear, and now I will go to other chemical reaction of alcohols. Now we will see due to cleavage of carbon oxygen bond in alcohol. This is the second part of the chemical reaction where we will involve the carbon oxygen bond. How the carbon oxygen bond will break. Now you can see here tertiary alcohol, secondary alcohol and primary alcohol where the alkyl groups are more. Here tertiary alcohol, 3 alkyl groups are attached to the carbon, there is no free hydrogen atom, and secondary alcohol there are 2 alkyl groups attached to the carbon, only 1 hydrogen attached. In primary alcohol here only 1 alkyl group is attached and there are 2 hydrogen atoms, they are attached freely. Here you can see this structure, you can see here 3 alkyl groups attached, and what is meant by this sign arrow mark, that means they have releasing capacity, electron releasing capacity, that is called plus I effect. Electron donating nature plus I, electron withdrawing nature minus I. Now due to plus I effect the electron moves towards carbon. Now see alkyl group is electron releasing and it increases electron density on oxygen. Then what happens if the electron move towards oxygen, and here it polarity of this bond that increases and automatically it will break. Now if more alkyl group, more electron releasing towards carbon, and this carbon oxygen bond will break easily. That is why tertiary is more active than secondary then primary. You can see in primary 1 alkyl group, only 1 R, that is towards carbon, and 2 alkyl group towards carbon, and here 3 alkyl groups towards carbon. That is why the cleavage of carbon oxygen bond easier in tertiary, then secondary, then primary. Now means in the reaction which are involved due to CO bond cleavage, that means here tertiary alcohol is more reactive than secondary then primary. First reaction you can see reaction with hydrogen halide. Reaction with hydrogen halide, you should remember this is only due to breakage or cleavage of CO bond, because only CO bond will break, then OH will attach to hydrogen of acid, then only the reaction will be completed. That means here ROHHX, before that H part only undergoes reaction, but here due to CO cleavage, here what happens, CO bond cleavage, what happens, this OH totally will be attached or totally removed towards to hydrogen halide. This is the first reaction. Here I want to explain, that means OHH, again see from this RO alcohol OH part, this acid H part, then what is the byproduct, water, then what is remaining, RX. So RX is the main, what is RX, alkyl halide, what is the IPS name, haloalkane. So important fact is here, that means here hydrogen halide when react with ROH, then the OH part of alcohol react with the hydrogen of acid gives RX and water. Then what happens, order of react, because you know halogen acids are so many types, you may use chlorine, you may use bromine, iodine. Now order of reactivity, HI is more reactive than HBr, then HCl. Then question is why? Because iodine size is larger than bromine, then chlorine. That means here if the size of in HI, if the size of iodide ion is more, then here the cleavage of HI bond become easy, and size of Br, the size of Br is less than I, but greater than Cl. So the order of reactivity HI is more than HBr, more than HCl. HI, the reaction is very easy with HBr, after that it is less reactive, then here HCl is the least reactive towards ROH, towards alcohol. But when come to alcohol, then what happened to alcohol? Because you know alcohols are three types: primary, secondary, tertiary. In primary 1R, secondary 2R, and that is tertiary 3R. R mean alkyl group. Alkyl group mean electron releasing capacity, and that is more. And here that is plus IF, inductive effect, plus inductive effect, plus I mean plus inductive effect. Then what happened? Tertiary is more reactive. Tertiary alcohol when react with HX, immediately product will form. Secondary alcohol time required, and primary alcohol, here you should write primary alcohol is least reactive. Actually what happened in this reaction, to make more reactive, catalyst is used. What is the catalyst? That acts, that is a Lewis acid, catalyst, that is Lewis acid. And what is that one? Anhydrous zinc chloride. Anhydrous zinc chloride is used as a Lewis acid that acts as catalyst. Actually this is called Lucas reagent. Lucas, one scientist name Lucas, involved in this reaction. He proved so many things in this reaction. That is why it is called Lucas test. Lucas test is very important to distinguish between primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol. Why? Because with Lucas reagent, that means with anhydrous zinc chloride, what happened here? Halides are formed. Halides are formed and water is the byproduct. These halides are what happened? It treated with water and it is observed. It is immiscible. Immiscible means some turbidity produce. But primary alcohol, secondary alcohol and tertiary alcohols are not producing turbidity in the same time, in the same temperature, because you know tertiary alcohol is more reactive, immediately turbidity will form, and secondary and primary they require some temperature. Lucas test, again I will explain properly how it is helpful to distinguish primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol. I told Lucas test. In Lucas test, Lewis acid, that is anhydrous zinc chloride, is taken, that acts as a catalyst. Now this Lucas test is very important, how to distinguish between primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol. Generally when react with hydrochloric acid and in presence of anhydrous zinc chloride, corresponding haloalkane is produced. Haloalkane generally immiscible with water and produces turbidity, but depends on the type of alcohol, whether primary, secondary and tertiary, the turbidity appears according to the time and temperature. Now we know tertiary alcohol is very active because here three alkyl group, electron releasing group are present. And now here you can see this is the tertiary alcohol react with hydrochloric acid. In presence of anhydrous zinc chloride, it produces haloalkane. What is that haloalkane? That means here having three alkyl groups. So here turbidity appears immediately because we know tertiary alcohol is very reactive. Next come to secondary alcohol. Secondary alcohol also gives haloalkane, but here the turbidity appears after 5 minutes because it is less reactive. It is mean secondary alcohol is less reactive than tertiary alcohol. And next, primary alcohol. Primary alcohol, when treated with hydrochloric acid and hydrogen chloride, it produces corresponding halide, haloalkane. Here the turbidity appears on heating. Why? Because it is least reactive, or it is less reactive than secondary. Secondary is less reactive than primary. That means here easily one can distinguish between primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol. If after treating with HCl and N-hydrogen chloride, if alcohol gives turbidity, immediately tertiary. After 5 minutes it gives turbidity, then secondary. Or if you say turbidity appears on heating, then you can say this is primary. So one can distinguish easily between primary, secondary and tertiary by the treating with hydrochloric acid and N-hydrogen chloride, that is called Lucas test. Then come to with phosphorus halides. So many phosphorus halides are there. Important are phosphorus pentachloride, phosphorus trichloride, phosphorus tribromide. But phosphorus tribromide is not immediately existing. So phosphorus plus bromine, you take phosphorus plus bromine, it gives phosphorus tribromide. Similarly, phosphorus iodide, phosphorus triiodide, here also you will take phosphorus and iodine. Now you see, if you take alcohol and PCl5, it gives corresponding halide, and oxygen comes to phosphorus Cl or phosphorus chlorine and exists as a compound that is called phosphorus oxychloride. That means this oxygen comes to here and this here chlorine attached to here, that is called ethyl chloride, or you can say chloro, that one ethane, 2 carbon ethane, chloroethane. Similarly, if you take PCl3, now see here 5 chlorine atom, here 3 chlorine atoms, so the byproduct different. What is their byproduct? Here you will get S3PO3. What is S3PO3? Phosphorus acid. Similarly, if you take PBr3 is not available immediately, so you will take phosphorus and bromine. Then after that immediately it gives PBr3, and here CH3CH2Br. That means bromoethane plus S3PO3. What is that? Phosphorus acid. Then CH3OH PI3, similarly P plus iodine you will take, and here it gives CH3I, mean iodomethane, S3PO3, phosphorus acid. Again see, with PCl5, the byproduct you should remember POCl3. What is POCl3? Phosphorus oxychloride. Similarly, and hydrochloric acid also available, and here PCl3 it gives chloromethane and S3PO3. What is S3PO3? Phosphorus acid. Similarly, in 3 case PBr3, PI3, the byproduct is S3PO3, and corresponding haloalkane is produced. For bromine, bromoalkane, for iodine, iodoalkanes are produced. Similarly, point 3, with thionyl chloride. See, this is one type of chloride of phosphorus only, and here one type of chloride that related to sulfur, and that is called thionyl, SOCl2, thionyl chloride. But here pyridine used to take. Then what happened? Here also haloalkane produced, and now what is the byproduct? What are the byproducts? Always try to remember byproducts. If you remember byproduct, then immediately product will be correct one, because you should know what are the byproducts and what is remaining, what is maybe the product. So here the byproducts are SO2 and HCl. Remember, SO2 is a gas, HCl is a gas, both are gas. So both can be removed easily, no problem, without any problem. Both can be removed easily. What is then remaining? Remaining only RCl, haloalkane, that is a pure form. That pure alkyl halide, how can we get? If you treat thionyl chloride in presence of pyridine, it gives haloalkane, and the byproduct, the SO2 and HCl both are gas. So they can be removed easily, and so they can be removed or separated easily. And so here this method is very important to get a pure haloalkane. Next we will see other reactions involved in the chemical properties. Now alcohols react with thionyl chloride. With thionyl chloride, in presence of pyridine, SO2 and HCl are produced as a byproduct. Those are gases, so they can be separated easily. Now example, methyl alcohol, thionyl chloride and pyridine, it gives methyl chloride, and SO2 HCl are both are gas. Now similarly, secondary alcohol also gives secondary haloalkane, and with pyridine. Tertiary example, you can take one example, propan-2-ol. It is called isopropyl alcohol. In IPAC name it is called propan-2-ol. It reacts with thionyl chloride and pyridine. It gives 2-chloropropane. 2-chloropropane, SO2 and HCl. Similarly, tertiary alcohol also react with SOCl2 and pyridine. It gives R3Cl. Tertiary alkyl group here, that means 3 alkyl groups with your halogen. So it is tertiary suppose with butyl alcohol, tertiary butyl chloride, like this. So these are the alcohols react with thionyl chloride in presence of pyridine, gives corresponding haloalkane, and side by side sulfur dioxide and HCl are produced, which are gases, and they can be separated easily. Now acidic dehydration, this one already you read in alkene chapter. Now here, in presence of protic acid, what is protic acid? Where hydrogen and oxygen are present and they act as acid. So protic acid concentrates sulfuric acid and H3PO for phosphoric acid. Now you take, this is called alcohol, and representation of alcohol where you present here RR or CC like this, RR or H you put here, and now this is the alcohol, and in presence of acid and heat it gives alkene. How? Because this H and OH gives water, this gives water, and here alkene is the main product. Now here ethyl alcohol, if you take ethyl alcohol, same as here, H and OH, that gives water as a byproduct, and what is remaining? This side H2, this side H2, and here it changes to double bond. So what is the name here? Ethene. What is the name? Ethene and water. Now here you are taking H2SO4, strong acid and concentrated sulfuric acid, and secondary tertiary alcohol under mild condition. Under mild condition mean here concentrated sulfuric acid is not required. You can take phosphoric acid. Now here secondary alcohol, that is propan-2-ol. Here propan-2-ol react with H3PO4 and heat it, and what happened? It gives, since it is 3 carbon alcohol, it should give 3 carbon alkene. What is that? Propene. And so again see, acidic dehydration mean in presence of acid water should be removed, and that is protic acid, concentrated sulfuric acid and phosphoric acid. Generally ethyl alcohol react with concentrated sulfuric acid and gives ethene and water, and whereas secondary and tertiary alcohol, they will react with phosphoric acid and heat it, it gives corresponding alkene. Now propan-2-ol on heating with H3PO4, it gives propene and water. And next we will see other acidic dehydration, how can you get different type of alkenes from different type of alcohols. I told dehydration takes place in presence of protic acid, example sulfuric acid and phosphoric acid. And actually here the order of reactivity, tertiary alcohol easily dehydrated, then secondary, then primary, or you can say tertiary alcohols are easily dehydrated. the ethyl alcohol undergoes dehydration in the presence of concentrated sulfuric acid, whereas tertiary alcohols they react with phosphoric acid and undergoes easily dehydration. So that is why you can say tertiary alcohols are easily dehydrated. Then come to dehydrogenation. What is meant by dehydrogenation? Dehydrogenation means hydrogen is removed. Dehydrogenation of alcohol means hydrogen is removed from the alcohol. Now here what happens? Dehydrogenation, loss of hydrogen molecule from alcohol. Primary, second, tertiary alcohol gives different product. When the vapors of alcohol pass over red heated copper and temperature 573 Kelvin, that means dehydrogen process is observed when alcohol vapors are passed over red heated copper at 573 Kelvin. Now tertiary alcohols easily dehydrated and gives alkene. Remember, primary alcohol, secondary alcohol gives different product, and tertiary is producing totally different product. That means primary alcohol gives aldehyde on dehydrogenation, and secondary alcohol gives ketone on dehydrogenation, but tertiary alcohols will not undergo dehydrogenation, but it undergoes dehydration. Instead of hydrogen removed and water is removed from the tertiary alcohols. See here, this is primary alcohol, copper, heated copper, the gas passed over heated copper and it gives aldehyde. That means you take example ethyl alcohol and heated copper, the gas passed over heated copper and gives ethanol, because here 2 carbon, according to 2 carbon that compound 2 carbon aldehyde, that is called ethanol. 2 carbon ethanol, 2 carbon aldehyde ethanol. Then come to secondary alcohol. Secondary alcohol when passed over red heated copper at temperature 573 Kelvin, it gives ketone. Remember, primary alcohols on heating over red heated copper, gas passed over red heated copper, then gives aldehyde. When the alcohols of the vapors of secondary alcohol passed over red heated copper, it gives ketone. That means primary gives aldehyde, secondary gives ketone. Both are carbonyl compound, but the tertiary alcohols when passed over red heated copper, it gives alkene. That means tertiary alcohol, how many carbon? 4 carbon, and 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon alkene. What is that? In 2 position 1, 2, 3. In 2 position there is a methyl group, so 2 methyl propene. And see here, primary alcohol, ethyl alcohol gives ethanol, and propan 2 all. That means here secondary alcohol, or you can give a common name isopropyl alcohol. Isopropyl alcohol on passing over red heated copper temperature 573, it gives ketone. Now 3 carbon alcohol gives 3 carbon ketone. What is that? Propanone. Prop means 3, propanone means ketone, so propanone is the product. And tertiary alcohol, tertiary butyl alcohol gives 2 methyl propene, because here hydrogen is not removed, here water is removed. That is, so it is dehydration takes place. Dehydration means water is removed. Here water is removed, and these two cases, primary and secondary alcohol, in this case hydrogen gas is removed. So primary gives aldehyde, secondary gives ketone, and tertiary alcohol gives alkene, corresponding alkene. And again we will see other chemical reaction involved in alcohol, and I hope it is clear that dehydrogenation means hydrogen is removed, but primary secondary gives only hydrogen as a byproduct, whereas tertiary alcohols undergo dehydration and produce alkene. I told dehydrogenation of alcohol. What is mean dehydrogenation? That means hydrogen to be removed. Hydrogen to be removed means that is one type of oxidation. But here what happened? The alcohol vapors passed over red heated copper and temperature 573 Kelvin. Now here what happens? Primary alcohol gives aldehyde plus hydrogen. Secondary alcohol gives ketone and hydrogen. But tertiary alcohol gives alkene. So this is called dehydrogenation, or you can say one type of oxidation. But when you go to proper oxidation using oxidizing agent, then what happened? What are the oxidizing agent? Alkaline potassium permanganate or acidified potassium permanganate. Acidified potassium permanganate means you will take permanganate solution and dilute sulfuric acid. Alkali potassium permanganate means take potassium permanganate solution and add sodium hydroxide. What is the color of potassium permanganate? That is pink color. Then what happened here? When you treat the oxidizing agent to the alcohol or with the alcohol, then what happens? Primary alcohol is oxidized to aldehyde. It gives aldehyde as the main product. And further to carboxylic acid. That means 2 times oxidation takes place. First alcohol, primary alcohol gives aldehyde. Further oxidation with acidified potassium permanganate, then it gives acid. But what is the difference between acid and aldehyde? What is the number of carbon atoms in alcohol? That is parent number carbon. Now aldehyde also containing same carbon and also carboxylic acid containing same number of carbon atoms. Suppose here alcohol contains 2 carbon atoms, aldehyde should contain 2 carbon atoms and acid also should contain same number of carbon atoms as the parent carbon in alcohol. This is the condition of primary alcohol. Remember, primary alcohol gives different product, secondary alcohol gives different, and tertiary also gives different. So we are now seeing that the condition of primary alcohol. This is the primary alcohol, general formula RCH2OH. This is called structural formula, general structural formula. On oxidation, it gives aldehyde. What is the formula of aldehyde? RCHO. And further oxidation, that means acidified potassium permanganate, or you should take alkali potassium permanganate. Then what happened? RCOOH. Now see, here what is the number of carbon atoms in alcohol? They are same as aldehyde, also same in carboxylic acid. This is the main primary condition of this primary alcohol. Now methanol. What is the methanol formula? CH3OH. What is the number of carbon atom here? Only 1. When you treated with potassium permanganate acidified, that is with dilute sulfuric acid, it should give aldehyde. Then number 1 carbon atom, what is the aldehyde? That should be methanol. Or you can say, what is the common name? Formaldehyde. Remember both name. Formaldehyde is common name and methanol is IPS name. Similarly here, methyl alcohol is common name and methanol is IPS name. Now see, methanol on further oxidation with the same reagent what you have taken here and gives acid. 1 carbon atom, what is the corresponding acid? HCOOH, that is called methanoic acid, or you can say formic acid. I hope it is clear. Next come to suppose you are increasing by 2 carbon, that is ethanol. What is the formula of ethanol? CH3 CH2OH. Or you can say, what is the common name of this ethanol? Ethyl alcohol. When treated with this acidified potassium permanganate, then corresponding to carbon, what is the aldehyde? That is ethanol. CH3CHO, ethanol. Then what is the common name of ethanol? What is the common name of ethanol? Acetaldehyde. Common name is acetaldehyde and IUPAC name is ethanol. Further oxidation, it gives ethanoic acid. Ethanoic acid means CH3COOH. That is the IUPAC name. CH3COOH, that is ethanoic acid. Then what is common name? Acetic acid. Acetic acid is common name. Ethanoic acid as IUPAC name. So I hope it is clear. Ethanol gives ethanol. Ethanol gives ethanoic acid. All are containing same number of carbon atoms as your parent alcohol. Now this is one type of oxidation that is very important, because acidified potassium permanganate or alkali potassium permanganate, they are good oxidizing agent. Next is, suppose we want only aldehyde, not acid. That means we will protect the oxidation here only in aldehyde. So what to do? See, alcohol gives aldehyde, further oxidation gives acid. But only you require up to aldehyde, not acid. Then what to do? You should change our oxidizing agent. We should change our oxidizing agent. You should remember what oxidation gives what product. Now here the N-hydro-CrO3. N-hydros means what? There is no water molecule. And CrO3, chromium oxide. When N-hydro-CrO3 or chromium oxide is taken as oxidizing agent, then what happened? This oxidation of alcohol takes place with limit step. That means it up to only aldehyde. After aldehyde, it will not go to acid. It stops there. Protection there. That means in up to aldehyde it is produced and further oxidation protected. After that, no oxidation takes place. If you want only aldehyde, no acid, then you can use N-hydrous chromium oxide as oxidizing agent for the oxidation of alcohol. Here we will take to aldehyde, you will take anhydrous chromium oxide. See here, ethyl alcohol, or you can say ethanol, on treating with anhydrous chromium oxide, it gives ethanol. Now the reaction is protected, the oxidation is protected, only aldehyde is produced. There is no further oxidation takes place. Now we will see other oxidation process of secondary alcohol and tertiary alcohols. In the oxidation of primary alcohol with good oxidizing agent, that is as alkaline potassium permanganate or acidified potassium permanganate, it gives aldehyde and further oxidation gives acid. But here what is the main condition? The aldehyde and acid, what it is, they are produced having same number of carbon atoms as parent alcohol. If parent alcohol containing 3 carbon, the aldehyde should containing 3 carbon and acid also containing 3 carbons. Suppose we want only aldehyde, no acid, that means further oxidation not required, then we can use anhydrous chromium oxide, what I told before. Here what happened? Only aldehyde produced, no acid. In aldehyde only the oxidation stopped, the oxidation is protected. Similarly, after anhydrous chromium oxide, here another new substance is used, that is giving a good yield of the aldehyde, and that is one is known as PCC. What is PCC? Pyridinium chlorochromate. And now this is the formula C5H5NH whole bracket plus and ClCrO3 minus. It is a complex compound. It is a complex one. Try to remember it. Then PC is formed. How can you form PCC? You take chromium trioxide. pyridinium and hydrochloric acid, then PCC will be formed. Now what happened here, by using PCC? When you use PCC in the oxidation of primary alcohol, it gives only aldehyde, not further oxidation. No further oxidation required here, only aldehyde. The protection of oxidation is stopped. Then oxidation further is stopped. Now what happened here? Take but 2 in 1 all. How can you know it is but 2 in 1 all? Now see, 1 there is OH, so 1 all. After 2 there is a double bond, 2 in. Total 4 number of carbon, that is a but 2 in 1 all. Using PCC, it gives but 2 in 1 all. That means the CH2OH group changes to CHO. Double bond is not affected. Double bond remains as it is. Only which one affected? The CH2OH changes to CHO. Now it is clear, that means oxidation of primary alcohol with a good oxidizing agent, just as acidified potassium permanganate. What is the result? If we use anhydrous chromium oxide, how the reaction, how the oxidation stopped in aldehyde. Similarly, by using PCC, how the oxidation stopped in aldehyde. You already observed this one. And next we will go to oxidation of secondary alcohol. Secondary alcohol, what is meant by secondary alcohol? When OH group is attached to CH. When OH group is attached to CH, that is called secondary alcohol. When OH is attached to, that means secondary alcohol. This is secondary alcohol. And before that, that one primary alcohol. When CH2 is attached to OH, that is primary. Here it is secondary. Now you can see here what happens. By using acidified potassium permanganate, it gives ketone. That means secondary alcohol, on oxidation, it changes to ketone. But this ketone having the same number of carbon atoms as the parent alcohol. Suppose parent alcohol containing 3 carbon atoms, then the ketone also containing 3 carbon atoms. But here also for prolonged oxidation takes place. If prolonged oxidation takes place, then what happens? Oxidation of ketone also takes place. Then oxidation of ketone, what it will give? It will give acid, but having lesser number of carbon atoms than the parent alcohol. If the parent alcohol having 3 carbon atoms, then that acid which containing less than 3 carbon atoms. Take one example. This is propan 2-ol. That is one as secondary alcohol because OH group is attached to CH. Oxidation, it gives propanone, that is ketone. Propanone mean prop mean 3. None mean keto group. See, CH3, CO, CH3. This is known as propanone. And oxidation gives acetic acid. Acetic acid containing 2 carbon, whereas parent alcohol containing 3 carbon atoms. And other carbon is produced as carbon dioxide and water. So remember that secondary alcohol on oxidation gives ketone having same number of carbon atoms, but on prolonged oxidation, further oxidation, it gives acid which containing less number of carbon atoms than your parent alcohol. See this example. I hope it is clear. Primary alcohol gives aldehyde ketone having same number of carbon, but secondary alcohol gives ketone having same number of carbon atom, but after that it gives acid which containing less number of carbon atoms than your secondary alcohol. Then come to tertiary alcohol. Tertiary alcohol does not undergo on the simple oxidation with acidified potassium permanganate, no reaction. Then drastic condition. Drastic condition means you take that one acidified potassium permanganate and heat it. Strongly you heat it. Then it is called drastic condition. It gives a mixture of acid. A mixture of acid which contain less number of carbon atoms than the parent alcohol. Now see here, tertiary butyl alcohol which containing 4 carbon. What is the name? tertiary butyl alcohol. And here what is the IUPAC name? Here 1, 2, 3, that means 2 methyl propan 2 all, 2 methyl in 2 position methyl, and here 2 position methyl and 2 position OH group, that is why it is known as 2 methyl propan 2 all, that is tertiary butyl alcohol. And on heating with potassium, acidified potassium permanganate, it gives mixture of, I told it gives mixture of acids containing less number of carbon atoms. Now here see, it also gives first propanone, then acetic acid, then carbon dioxide. Mixture of acids, ketone, here it is acids and ketone. Here gives mixture of acids, ketone containing less number of carbon atoms than parent alcohol. See acetone, or you can say propanone. Propanone containing 3 carbon atoms, which is parent alcohol is 4 carbon atom. Acetic acid 2 carbon atoms, which is less than your parent alcohol, which is 4 carbon atoms. Then what is the meaning? Tertiary alcohol never undergoes simple oxidation. That means simply with acidified potassium permanganate. But on strong heating, it gives mixture of ketone acids, but each one having less carbon atoms than parent alcohol. Example, tertiary butyl alcohol, which contains 4 carbon atoms, and the product propanone, which contains 3 carbon atoms, that is less than parent alcohol. Similarly, acid, that is acetic acid, having 2 carbon atoms, which is less than your parent alcohol having 4 carbon atoms. Acetic acid 2 carbon atoms and parent alcohol 4 carbon atoms. So here the oxidation of primary alcohol, secondary alcohol and tertiary alcohol, I hope it is completed. I have you clear, and hope any doubt you can ask me in comment box, and hope it is become very easy to you. And please subscribe my channel BL Das Short and Sweet in Chemistry, and also like and share my channel so that I may produce more videos on organic chemistry. And next coming video I will explain the properties of ethers, preparation and properties of ether. Thanking you.